to the ITSM Practice Podcast.
Hello, my name is Luigi Ferri and welcome to the ITSM Practice Podcast. Today we'll talk about two giants of cloud security, Germany's BSI C5 and the US NIST SP 853. Both are respected, both are detailed, but together they show us the paradox of our time, strong frameworks that sometimes create more bureaucracy than security. How can global banks manage cloud risks without duplicating compliance work across countries? Banks and financial institutions depend on cloud services, customer data, transaction records, fraud detection models. All of these flows through the cloud. That's why frameworks exist. They give us structure, they define controls, they create trust with the regulators and customers. In Germany, this means BSI C5. In the US, it is NIST SP 853. Both frameworks are solid. Both cover governance, risk, operations, and technology. But if you are a global bank, do you need to do everything twice? What's the real difference between BSI C5 and the NIST SP 853? Let's simplify. BSI C5 was born in 2016, updated in 2020, it's cloud specific. Think of it as a catalog to check if your cloud provider is transparent, auditable, trustworthy. About 17 domains, 100 requirements. Clear, structured, not too heavy. NIST SP 853 is older, broader, and much bigger. It started for US federal systems, but today it's used across industries. It covers all IT systems, on-prem, cloud, hybrid. Think of it as a giant library, 20 control families, more than 1,000 controls. So one is focused and cloud-oriented, the other is massive and universal. What do BSI C5 and NIST SP 853 have in common? Both are risk-based, both build on ISO 27001, both want transparency, both evolve with the technology, and most important, both are meant to create trust. Does compliance makes us more secure or just better at producing paperwork? Now, let me give you a scenario. Imagine a German bank expanding into the US market. In Germany, it already went through a full BSI C5 attestation, an external audit, dozens of controls checked, hundreds of documents produced. Now, in the US, the same bank must comply with NIST SP 853. So it hires consultants, runs gap analysis, fills spreadsheets, creates new reports. At the end, the bank has two thick audit reports. Cost, millions in compliance. Security, exactly the same. And here comes my reflection. When I look at these frameworks, I often wonder, do they measure real security or just our ability to produce documentation? Audits done, reports signed. Are we securing banks or just securing binders full of compliance documents? How can banks turn overlapping frameworks from a cost into an opportunity? And here comes the opportunity. Instead of duplicating, we could harmonize. The overlaps are big. Both frameworks ask about identity and access, incident response, continuity, data protection. If banks map controls once, they could reuse the evidence across both frameworks. This is where ITSM and IT security professionals can play a key role. Show the overlaps, build unified dashboards, make compliance not just a cost, but a tool to improve governance. What do these frameworks mean in practice for banks? At high level, here is the difference that matters. If you operate mainly in Germany or Europe, C5 gives you the cloud baseline. If you operate in the US, NIST 853 is mandatory if you touch federal or regulated markets. If you operate globally, you may need both, but you should not double the work. Use harmonization. Map once, prove twice. That's the real value. So, to conclude, frameworks like BSI C5 and NIST SP 853 are not enemies. They are complementary. But if we don't harmonize them, they risk becoming a burden of audits and costs without making our banks any safer. And this leaves us with a simple but sharp question. Are we building security for our data or job security for compliance consultants? That's all, folks. In the episode description, you'll find links to resources that go deeper into the comparison of BSI C5 and NIST SP 853. Thank you for listening. Let's focus on governance that makes sense. This was the ITSM Practice Podcast. I'm Luigi Ferri. Arrivederci.